What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with our first waiver wire video of the year. If you guys got that win on Sunday or if you took that loss, don't worry. It's only week one. We're going to get you right. A few minor tweaks, a waiver wire ad here, a smart defensive play, a good start sit. That's the difference between wins and losses most week. And Fantasy Joe is the edge your team needs to get to that championship. Just hit that subscribe button. Post waiver wire every week. We do buy lows, sell highs, give you all the trade advice of who the guys you should go after. That'll come out today or tomorrow night, so stick tuned for that. Rankings every week, answer all of your fantasy questions, so hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. Start sits, roster construction, anything you need fantasy, I got you guys. So let's dive in and start talking about our waiver wire ads. I will say one name I was very impressed with is Daniel Jones in week one. And obviously we've seen what he's done in years past. But if he wasn't playing Denver this week, he would definitely be my top ad at the position. They scored in every single drive. First quarterback to do that since 1991. The 272 number is a number I was really excited about. He finally plays with a good offensive line. Got some solid weapons. He's got Pittman. He's got Warren. He's got Downs. But yeah, I really like the upside of Daniel Jones in this new offense there. This matchup against Denver, I'm not going to start him, but a name to keep an eye on. Let's see, some other guys. Geno, I thought looked good. I don't hate playing him against the Chargers. Stafford is another guy I would also consider, but I would probably go Geno Smith over Geno Smith over Matthew Stafford, and then Michael Penix, one more name to keep an eye on. I do think he is a good play. Used his legs, threw for nearly 300. He threw the ball a lot more than they wanted to, but so I would order these guys right now. I would probably go, okay, I'm going to order them for next week, and then I'm going to order for the rest of the season. If you need to start next week, I am going Geno Smith, Michael Penix, Matthew Stafford, Daniel Jones. Rest of season, I would probably go. The upside of Penix is there, but rest of season, we'll probably go. Daniel Jones, or this is tough. Rest of season, I just like the upside of Jones. He might not be anything, but I would put Jones at 1 on the upside meter just because he might be something, and then I've got my quarterback for the rest of the year. So I would probably add Daniel Jones first in that situation. At running back, and he's probably the top ad of the week, although there's some other names that you could consider. Honestly, it's mainly roster dependent. There's no crazy ad, but there's some top ads at each spot. But Dylan Sampson, last week, 8 catches, 8 targets, 64 yards. Great. Led the league in rushing attempts, led the team in yards. Looks really locked into a pretty solid role there. I was very encouraged by his pass catching numbers, especially week 1 for a rookie to go out there and catch 8 balls is pretty phenomenal. If Kareem Hunt's in any of your leagues, go grab him. Rostered in 12% of leagues. Is this right? What the heck? He is more of an insurance guy, so I guess I get that, but Kareem Hunt's a name to stash because if anything happens to Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt will instantly be impactful for fantasy, similar to how we saw him be last year. Kenneth Gainwell's a cuff. Not a whole lot of other guys at the running back position I'd be jumping all over to get to right now. Let me see real quick just if there's anybody that I've been forgetting about, though. I don't think so, but you always got to double check. But yeah, Dylan Sampson would be the top ad. If I do need a running back, I'll go after him. Trey Benson, a guy who's out there, I would pursue as well. And then just 2 more names. Kyle Monungai, he could be the goal line back for Chicago eventually, I believe. Ollie Gordon should be owned in all leagues, although I do think that offense is going to be pretty brutal this year. I think the Dolphins are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. So moving on to the wide receiver position, I'm going to throw out a name here right off the bat. Kayshon Boutte is my top ad at the position. I just think he would look good when he played with Drake May last year, and Drake May, he tied for the team leading targets with 8 this week, 6 for 103. That's a guy I'm going to go out there and get. I would say Quentin Johnson. That's probably worth an ad in some deeper leagues. If I'm in a 10-teamer, maybe not. But 7 targets. I don't see that number getting a whole lot higher. Yeah, and he's going to struggle with drops. He's going to have good games. Justin Herbert's an absolute stud when they need him. He's going to do stuff. But I'm definitely taking Butte over him, and then I would probably take Huge personally. Other names, I do think Romeo Doubs is going to be pretty fantasy relevant, especially at the beginning of the season. Just a lot of wide receivers banged up. We've got Matthew Golden getting acclimated slowly, a lot of those things. One other name I would throw out there, if he is unowned in your league, is Marquise Hollywood Brown. If he's out there, you definitely want to go add him probably above all of these guys. I would even take him above Butte, but he's just owned in a lot less leagues. But I would go, if everyone, let's say all these players are available, Hollywood Brown is your first ad, Kayshon Butte is your second ad, Quentin Johnson or Romeo Doubs, depending on your persuasion, is your third ad, and then the other your fourth. Then you're probably going Juju after that. But a lot of guys who can make some impact on your teams. Okay, at tight end, one name I really want to show real quick, Juwan Johnson. So he had 11 targets this first week, great target share. They're a team that's going to have to drop back and sling it just about every week. But yeah, he turned that into 8 for 76, former wide receiver. We've seen him be fantasy relevant for stretches. I think he's a guy I would go out and add. The matchup against San Francisco you don't love, but if he gets 11 targets, he'll be just fine. Hunter Henry and Zach Ertz are other options. I just think Hunter Henry, he disappears a lot. We've seen that happen before in his career. He goes from an 8-target game to a 2-target game. And then Zach Ertz, he doesn't offer you a whole lot of, inspiration. 5 targets, 3 for 1 tud. But he is a guy to add. Brenton Strange, I believe, led the Jacksonville Jaguars in receiving yards, only 59, but 4 for 4. He could get more involved and potentially be fantasy relevant later in the year. One other name, Mason Taylor. Some of these guys are more no for laters. A lot of these guys in week 1, honestly. But he played on almost 90% of snaps for the team. Should get more and more involved in the passing game. We saw Justin Fields look solid, so something to consider there. Heading over to the defense, the Bills are out there at the Bills against the Jets. I think that's a good play. Rams defense, I think, is a great play. And then 49ers defense as well. Let's see who else. I would not play the Colts defense. Denver could come out and look awful again, but it's just not worth the risk to me. But there's worse plays out there. Bo Nix looked rough in week 1. I think Cowboys. No, I can't do it. Never mind. Cowboys defense against the Giants is not a bad play either. But there's some pretty good defensive options out there for you this week. So go out there, add a guy, and get ready. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will be posting my buy low, sell highs later today or tomorrow. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button to check that one out. And keep putting those comments down there, and we'll keep crushing it. And I'll see you guys next time.